Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to After the Weight Drops podcast. We are here today with Alan and Ned. How are you guys going?
Awesome.
Really good, thank you.
We're enjoying some sunshine here in Adelaide. Some springs should be here, but it hasn't really fully come yet, and this is about as good as it's getting right now. I'll take it.
We've got a couple of good days coming to us in the future.
We do, yes.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so we have a bit of really hot and sunny, and then it's like cold days and cold nights, and then so it hasn't really decided if it's going to come like now or it's going to be a couple of days before.
It's been a bit moody right now.
Yeah.
Are they really that cold for you though, Ned?
You are from Russia.
I'm my ass, yes. It's been a long time since I've been in Russia.
How long has it been?
Long time, like 15 years.
15 years.
I'm planning to go next year.
It's a long memory in the distance. Didn't you go this year?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I didn't go to Russia.
Where'd you go?
Bulgaria.
Oh,
It's another motherland.
No, but is that where you're actually from?
No, I was born in Russia.
Okay.
But my real father is from Bulgaria.
Your real father? Okay, yeah.
Real, unreal.
Yeah,
step.
I'm confused.
Second step father.
Okay,
I have too many dads.
Too many dads.
Too many daddies.
Too many dads, only one Ned. So today, guys, we're going to talk about how to best prepare for a competition. So I guess just want to hear everyone's take on how you guys think it's best prepared for a competition. We've got different competitions that people probably have done: CrossFit, weightlifting, powerlifting, different things like that. So what are you guys' thoughts? How would you best say to somebody to best prepare for a competition?
Well, I think as we just started talking about it earlier, we might have a slightly different approach to. Well, I think it also depends what type of competition.
Yeah.
But let's talk about CrossFit, perhaps. First, yeah, and then we'll dive into something different.
Yeah. So how would you say you best should prepare for a CrossFit competition?
Well, so obviously CrossFit combines things like endurance, strength, and speed, power. So it's a little bit of everything. And I think when it comes down to, you want to be relatively fresh, you want to be 100%, right? Can you be ready 100% if you trained the day before? That's a good question.
I think you can.
Okay.
So, I definitely wouldn't be doing 1RMs or anything silly like that, or even particularly really heavy workouts.
Yep.
But with CrossFit, a lot of it comes down to, most of the time, especially in local comps, it comes down to endurance a lot of the time, and being able to maintain your speed. And having a day off for that doesn't really help.
What about 2 days?
2 days off, even worse.
So you don't think we should recover
we recover?
Let the muscles recover and
certainly recover. It's just don't go as hard as you normally would.
Yeah.
So it's still tapering, and you're going to have a couple of days beforehand, but you're still going to come into the gym. You're going to do something. You're going to get out of breath a little bit, but you're not going to have that DOMS. And I mean, if you're going into a competition, you've probably trained for a little while then, and you know what's going to give you those DOMS. So it's up to the athlete, and more often than that, the coach, to go, okay, you need to get in and do something, but no, you're not doing those 95% 1RM deadlifts for the day.
Yep, definitely no RMs.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the specific athlete. So I think it really depends to where the person is in their training, where they are in their training age. You might be a really mature athlete who's maybe a little bit older, and you might need more recovery leading into a competition. So if you're a masters athlete or just somebody who's has a pretty long training age, there's maybe joint integrity that you might need to be looking into to feel your best for a comp.
Yeah.
I think if you're maybe somebody who's younger and really keen and just training a lot and has a pretty high volume in their training load, you might get away with doing training, and it might be in your best interest to be more active leading into a comp. And then it kind of goes into how long you've been training for that comp. If you've had very little time to train for something that you've just kind of decided to sign up on the spot, probably the best advice I would say is maybe don't change anything in your training. Sometimes people change too many things leading into a comp. They change how they eat, how they sleep, what they do in their training, what movie puts them to sleep at night.
So they're getting out of that.
Yeah, they're getting out of their routine.
The routine where they know exactly we're getting up this time, blah blah, training that much. Yeah.
So I think if inserting recovery takes you too much away from your routine, I think that can be detrimental.
Messes your head, yeah.
Because you might wake up one day and like you might need to like be moving every day to like flush out some of that lactic acid that's in your muscles and to help you with those DOMs. And if you find that you change your routine too much and one of those changes affects you negatively, then that could definitely get into your head leading into a comp. So I think it just depends on the sort of person. Now, how do you guys see like some of the biggest differences that occur between competitions, like competing in CrossFit or in weightlifting or in strongman or in powerlifting?
Well, if it was going to weightlifting or strongman or something like, then definitely you should be resting, like not even picking up a barbell, basically for at least a day beforehand, maybe even more. It's a little bit different, like because you've already learned everything that you're going to learn, and your muscles are already adapted about as much as they can. You can't train up to the day. No, yeah.
Well, I mean, I would go as far as say like up to a week. You finished your last heavy week, like let's say you did 85-95% in the week before the comp, or even 2 weeks before, and from there you're tempering down. So you want to do something light, you want to do simple exercises, something that's not too complicated. The reason, like like Alan said, there's no point in doing edge technique, because you already have done as much as you can. You're not going to relearn something in the 1 week, and it just adds to your kind of like you want to be as clear in your head as possible. You want to be also like feel that confident that what you learn, this is it. Like I'm coming into the training, into the competition. So on the week of competition, I suggest you can still come and do some some movements, warm up the joints. Do a little bit stuff that actually maybe contradictory to what you said. Maybe do something different, like do a little bit of like running or something like that. Something that just low on on intensity. So you're just getting movement. You're actually taking yourself out of that thought that, I need to concentrate on my snatch, how I do it. You want to think about that a couple of days before training, so you're not getting yourself worked up about that. Am my technique right? If you had successful 1 RM lift the week, 2 weeks before, this is it. That's your last lift. Maybe do like a couple of light ones on like the couple of days before that. That's about it. Yeah.
I think like Ned brought up a really good point, which is don't try and learn something new, because you don't want to go onto that stage, onto that platform and go, that's right,
Is my back supposed to be like this?
I need to change my movement because the coach told me 2 days before a comp now that I've got to get my shoulders further over that bar or my starting position, and now everything's thrown off. And like Ned said just before as well, with if he just got a PR at the end of his heavy week, and now he's come into his competition and he's changed something, he might not get that PR again. He might not hit it on the stage when it actually really matters, like for the athlete. So, especially not doing anything leading up to a competition, don't try and learn anything new. Not really close into it. You've done everything you can.
Like as far as like I read some materials on like Russian training or weightlifting training from 70s, and they basically don't do anything heavy. 2 weeks before the competition, they do like weird stuff. They play games, like they play volleyball or something that doesn't require thinking too much, but just like something fun, something takes you out of their training sessions, and then they might do a little like light session on a Sunday or something, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday rest, a little bit of physical activity, like general preparation, and then you're hitting your maxes on the competition. Because you also got to remember, before the competition and the back, you're warming up, you're doing those heavy lifts already, like you might go up to 75% of your max. So you will get the chance to kind of like give it your last shot before you jump on the platform, and you might feel more refreshed. Because remember, like if you're trying to perform at 100%, you have to be 100% at that point of time. If you just train, you're not going to be 100%. If you train before that, your muscles are still recovering. Protein intake takes up to 24 hours, right? It doesn't just happen in like your main intake goes in like hour 45 minutes after the training, but then for the rest of the 24 hours you can still recovering. So that's kind of like what I read, and I think that makes sense. And
I think again, I think it's really specific to each athlete. Like everyone's got different capabilities for maxing out or getting close to their peak potential, and I think definitely like when you're first starting out, something that can be hard to understand is how to actually let your body peak. Like a big part of peaking is psychological. Like knowing that like, okay, like I need to feel good like leading up to this, specific day on like this competition. And I think that sometimes if people aren't used to taking, I think maybe like a better way of explaining this is that something that should be in people's training programs is deload weeks, so that people understand that like before you go back to doing something hard, like you want to take some time to like deload yourself. So I guess just making sure that there's deloads in your training program so that you can understand what it should feel like to be.
So you don't feel like, oh, I'm actually not doing any work, because you're actually doing the work, just that it doesn't happen to feel like a workout on the day. It doesn't mean it's not doing something in the long run.
They are the hardest weeks. The deload weeks are always the hardest weeks, where you gotta pull back and be like, these squats are not feeling particularly heavy. I don't feel like I've had a workout. I'm not gassed or anything. I've gone through that entire thing and I've barely broken a sweat. And it's only because I'm standing in the sun right now that I am now. But like that's the hard stuff. It's like, and then you can't wait for next week. And a lot of times people skip that type of stuff as well.
They just go like, oh, just keep going hard until I break. And that's the thing, like a lot of people end up breaking, like whether it's through injury or like they just get burnt out psychologically. So
you don't want to hit like your max or like do something heavy and then pop your knee or something. Because like, oh, you're just going into competition. Well, now you're not going to competition just because you've been a little bit silly.
Yeah, definitely. What do you guys think about nutrition when it comes to leading into a competition?
Can I just say one more thing about that? So deload week, something like I aspire to do when it's a deload week. So I'm not gonna be thinking, all right, I'm gonna go heavy and I'm gonna smash this weight. I'm thinking I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do the best the best execution of the movement that I can do. So I'm not thinking about like I'm not hyping myself up. I'm actually trying to be like more in that sort of balanced, mentally balanced. So like, all right, I'm going to squat. I'm gonna go now.